Well, greetings, everyone. Good morning or good evening, wherever you may be in the world. We're excited that you've joined us for this webinar. We're going to give it just about another 10, 15 seconds or so and let a few others that are still trying to connect join this session. But we're really excited that you've chosen to spend the next little bit with us, learning more about East Tennessee State University, learning more about the options in computer science at ETSU, and then really just about how to navigate this whole process of searching through your options and making the informed choice in higher education. And we're just excited that you have chosen to spend this time with us. Looks like there's a few more still joining in from the waiting room. This is exciting. I may invite one of my other co-hosts here, if they can admit those that keep joining, and just clicking admit on everyone. Awesome. Awesome. Well, like I said, we're excited you've joined us here. During this webinar, you're going to hear from multiple different members of the ETSU team. Kicking us off will be Justin Osborne, one of the ETSU recruitment partners, giving some advice and some recommendations for students interested in computer science. And then we'll give an overview of East Tennessee State University, give you some information about who we are as an institution. And then Dr. Husari, our undergraduate coordinator and assistant professor in computer science, is going to share some further information with you about the ETSU program, and then we'll hopefully be able to turn it over for some questions and answers at the end. There is a chat feature that is here in Zoom, and so at any point during this webinar, if you have questions, please feel free to put those down there in the chat. We'll answer those as we can, and those that we don't answer throughout, we'll follow up at the end with some other specific answers and dialogue about those questions. So thank you. We're excited for this. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Justin Osborne.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Caleb. Thank you, everybody, for being here, whatever time zone you're in. I appreciate you being here on the weekend. So yeah, as Caleb mentioned, I'm Justin Osborne. I wanted to start quickly by telling you a little bit about what I do. Over the past many years, I have advised hundreds of international students about choosing the major they want to study and choosing the university they want to study. And, choosing the university and the major, it really is probably the most important decision in your life, except possibly deciding who you want to marry. That might be bigger, but aside from that, choosing your major and your university is really important because it's going to decide what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life, basically every day, right? So it's very important that you take it seriously. So I want to advise students on this decision. I want to educate students on this decision. When you think about all the time that you put in, 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, all the money that you put in, depending on the university, if you want to go to an elite top university, you might end up paying $100,000, $200,000 for a bachelor's degree, depending on where you go, right? When you consider tuition, room and board, living expenses, all of that. So it's a very important decision. And it's one I want to help students to take very seriously. So when a student comes to me and they ask, what should I study? Where should I go? I always want to tell them to think about a couple factors. There are really 3 factors that I think all students need to consider. All right. So the first factor is what's your passion? What do you really love to do? Okay. And the second one is your skill. What are you really good at? Okay. Is there something you're really great at doing, or is there something you're really bad at doing? Okay. And the last one is the return on the investment, right? You're putting all this time in, all this money. What are you going to get back? Okay. So for any student that comes to me, I tell them, even if they don't like computers at all, even if they're not really good at computers, I tell them just to think about computer science. Why? Because it's such a huge return on investment. There are so many job opportunities. There is so much possible income that you will earn. It really is the top major when you think about that factor of the return on the investment, right? What are you going to get back from studying this? Okay, Caleb. And what you'll see is other students around the world, they realize that as well. If you look at this chart, this shows you the number of students that are graduating with computer science related majors. All right. So look at this chart here. You see it started going up in the early 2000s. It dipped a little bit during the recession that we had, and now it is at all-time highs. And if you look at it, this chart also shows male and female. You see it's typically been a male-dominated space, but that is really changing a lot in current years, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it really is, so many students are seeing that the potential of this major. And the reason for that is really because there are just so many jobs. I mean, there are more jobs than there are people qualified to do the jobs. So essentially anybody who gets a degree in computer science or computer engineering, they're able to find a job really anywhere they want to study. You look at some of these jobs that they might be able to get. Software developer, 430,000 jobs available this year. Computer information, 52,000, 47,000 for information securities. There's just so many jobs available. And if you look at the income, again, as I mentioned, the return on the investment, what are you going to get back? This really is the job that will provide you with a high salary that will allow you to go on and live the life that you probably want to live. If you look at this, the average salary for somebody in the computer industry is $102,000. All right. And another thing that's important is when you're looking at where you want to study. I have students that come to me and they say, I want to study in the UK, I want to study in Canada. But actually, if you really look at the statistics, you'll see that the U.S. pays about twice as much if you study the computer science. So if you're really interested in computer sciences and you're deciding where you want to go, I would definitely look at the U.S. because you're going to make a lot more money, as you can see in this chart here. Okay. And also think about what you want to do afterwards, right? So if you study computer science or computer related major, one, you're able to extend your OPT for an additional 2 years. All right. So, all international students, no matter what major you study, you're able to work afterwards using OPT for 1 year. However, if you do a computer science major, which is considered a STEM designated program, you're able to extend that OPT and work for 3 years. And also, after you finish your OPT, if you'll look at this chart here, you'll see that computer related majors have the highest chance to get an H-1B visa, meaning they are most likely to be able to get the visa that allows them to stay in the U.S.A. and work. All right. So if that's what you're interested in, you want to work in the U.S. or live in the U.S., studying the computer science majors really give you the best chance to do that, as you'll see from this chart here. I'm then looking at the different majors, and choosing. There are so many different computer science, computer engineering related majors. You really just want to sit down and look at those and think about what you want to study. A lot of people come to me and they ask, okay, what's the difference between computer science and computer engineering? Now, we have experts talking about computer science today, so I'll let them talk mostly about it. But generally, computer science, you're going to be more focused on the software aspect. You're going to really get very deep into the programming. Whereas computer engineering, you're also going to be doing a lot of programming. You're going to be studying a lot of the similar courses, but you're also going to be doing a lot of the hardware aspect as well. And then electrical engineering is also something that's very much related. A lot of universities, they actually combine the computer and the electrical engineering into one major, and then you just focus on a concentration. So with the electrical engineering, you're doing much more of the hardware stuff, robotics, control systems, that kind of thing. But all of these majors really give you so many options for jobs. You'll look here, data science, cybersecurity, whichever one you choose, you will have very similar or many opportunities. So I want to talk a little bit also about getting into universities. All right. So you really want to think. So we talked about the, choosing the major, but now you want to think about what university do you want to attend, right? And so many students come to me and they say, I want to go to an elite university. I want to go to Harvard. I want to go to, Princeton, these top universities. And when you saw that chart in the beginning, you saw how many students are applying. So this is just something I want all my students to consider. You know, if you have a dream to go to an elite university, pursue that. But I want you to be aware of how it can be very difficult to get in. You look in here, this is Carnegie Mellon. Carnegie Mellon is the number 22 ranked university in the US. They have one of the top computer science programs. You essentially have to be perfect to get into one of these universities. You see ACT 36, GPA of 3.95, the SAT you see there. So you really, in order to get into one of these universities, you really have to be an elite student. But I want students to be aware they don't have to go to one of these elite universities to get all of those benefits. If you get a computer science degree from a university like ETSU, you will still have those same job benefits. Now, another issue with, if you want to get into these elite universities, you'll see here, this is Berkeley. They're running out of space regarding the computer sciences and the computer engineering. They simply just don't have enough room to accommodate all the applications that they're getting. You think about like these top universities, they were mostly built 100 years ago. They've added facilities, but they still can't keep up with the number of students applying. So even though the number of students that want to do these majors at elite universities like Berkeley is growing, those elite universities, they just don't have the capacity to handle all those students. So I'm encouraging students to look at other universities. You don't have to go to a university in the top 20, the top 100, again, to still get those benefits. Another issue that we used to always help students, because at the end of the day, I know students, a lot of the students, they want to go to like U.S.A, University of Michigan, Berkeley, those top universities. So we would help them to apply, and the issue was we knew it was going to be very difficult for them to get into the computer sciences. So we had them apply for different majors. They could apply for like arts and sciences, and then later change their major to computer science. And that allowed them to be able to enter using, that method, arts and sciences, because the requirement is lower. And then they would change their major to computer science. However, that option is also for most elite universities not available anymore. So universities are not allowing students to enter as other majors and then transfer to computer science. They're saying you have to come into computer science. You have to be admitted as a first-year student or a transfer student. All right, so that's another thing that has happened that's made it more difficult. And another thing too, we do want to look at diversity. Okay, universities, especially in the past 10, 15 years, they are really paying attention to the diversity of their students. They've long considered diversity to be a major goal of education. So they don't want one major to be completely full of people from one country. Okay, they want a diverse group of students. And you'll look at this chart here, you'll see Asian students are applying at incredibly high rates. About 50% of the applications are coming from Asian students, other international students you'll see there. But it is going to perhaps be harder. It just depends. They're going to be looking at diversity whenever they make these decisions. It's another issue that students are facing these days. Gender diversity too. You saw the chart in the beginning. You saw it was computer sciences were primarily male applicants, male graduates. But again, universities, they want diversity. So that is changing. You'll see that this chart here, 2018, it's now about 50% at Carnegie Mellon of the students are studying computer science are female. So if you're applying and you're a female, definitely take advantage of that. If you're a male, that's something you also might want to consider. And this is just another chart that's demonstrating the acceptance rates. You'll see the lighter color means there's a lower chance of being accepted, and the darker color means there's a higher chance. So it's just, the point here is that it's just getting harder to get into these elite universities. So, you need to think about, do I want to continue to put all of my efforts into one of these elite universities? Or do I want to look at another university that I'll have a better chance of getting into? I'll save a lot of money at this other university like ETSU, for example, and I'll still get all those benefits. Right. Yeah, so now we're going to talk just a little bit about strategies for when you're going to apply. And this kind of just gets back to what I said at the beginning. All right, it really comes down to when you choose your major, when you choose your university, it comes down to three things. What is your passion? So doing what you love there. What are you good at? What's your skills? And then what are you going to get back? What's the return on the investment? And when it comes to computer science, again, there's a huge return on investment. You might think you're not good at computers or something, but I think anybody can apply themselves and actually and do the work and become a computer engineer or a computer scientist. I don't believe anybody cannot do that. So even if you think, hey, I'm not good at computers, still look at it, because you can do it as long as you put in the effort. And the other things, look at the quality of the education that you're going to get. It's not that different from those top 20 universities compared to other universities like ETSU. And again, job opportunities are going to be more or less equal. You graduate with a computer science degree from ETSU compared to another top 20 university, you're still going to be able to get the job that earns you 100,000, 70, 80, 90, $120,000 a year. All right. So definitely I want all the students to, really think about computer science as a major. I always encourage that. Any student that comes to me, I say, look at computer science. You're going to have great job potential. You're going to have a great opportunity to earn money. And then look at the university that you want to attend. You don't have to go to Carnegie Mellon. You don't have to go to University of Michigan. Universities like ETSU are there, and they can give you the same quality of education that will provide you with the same outcomes. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'll pass it back to Caleb now. I just want everybody to think about computer science, and then, think about the university that you're going to attend. It's the most important decision you're going to make.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin. And thank you for kind of setting the stage for us and setting us up with that advice, those recommendations. And as Justin said, there are a lot of options in front of students. We know that as you were looking to make your college decision, that you have a lot of options in front of you. And we want to take a few moments now to share a little bit about ETSU. And what I want to do in the next 5 or 10 minutes is give an overview of East Tennessee State University. I want to show you that we are more than computer science, but we'll highlight some very specific computer science options. But I want to help put this in perspective of who we are as an institution. So there's a brief video that I think will play. It's only about a minute long, but it paints a picture of who we are. Oops. Maybe. So I had a few messages saying that you couldn't hear that. Was there sound on that? No? Oh, that's so disappointing. There was awesome soundtrack that played over top of that video, but I'll have to send that out later. But you at least got a visual of who we are. When we talk about ETSU, I generally talk about these 4 items here: our programs, our community, our location, and the affordability of ETSU. And so as you see here, we have some very strong programs outside of computer science, psychology, accountancy, digital marketing, digital media, very strong programs across the spectrum of academics. And it's something that we're very proud of, our academic portfolio. We think that we have so many great opportunities for students. Very known for health sciences. We have over 4,000 students studying within the health sciences. Our medical professions advisement is ranked in the top 20 in the United States. Business programs, economics, accountancy, finance, management, marketing. Our programs are AACSB accredited, which means that we stand in the top 5% of programs worldwide. And again, business programs at ETSU are something that we're proud of, that students talk about. These students are going out into careers and being very, very successful. Engineering technology, 6 different concentrations within engineering technology, biomedical, construction, electronics, and industrial manufacturing, product development. Have just a robust offering of programs for students interested in engineering. I could talk all day about our academic programs. I'm not going to read each program that's listed here on the screen, but this is just a snapshot of the academic programs that we offer for students at the undergraduate level. And also at the graduate level, you'll see the master's programs, doctoral programs listed here. Here at ETSU, we're a comprehensive university, public 4-year with so many different options, over 160 different academic programs, giving students that wide range of experience inside and outside the classroom. Justin referenced the 3-year STEM OPT at the beginning of this presentation. Students studying in these programs here can qualify for 3 years of OPT after graduation. And you'll notice computer science is on this list and really prepares students to apply for that 3-year OPT and then later an H-1B if that's something that students are interested in. Also at ETSU, we're more than a classroom. So we're an ETSU community. We talk about ourselves as the ETSU family. And we have over 14,000 students at ETSU. So we're a major university. But as you'll see here, though, the average class size is only 20, which means that you'll get personal, individual attention from your instructors, because we want you to not just attend ETSU, but be successful at ETSU. And this semester, we have over 400 different international students studying at ETSU from over 47 different countries. And it's something that we're excited about because we are at that major university, but with a small college feel. Many of you have probably not heard of Johnson City, Tennessee. I was standing underneath of this sign about 5 hours ago. We're a town that is growing quickly. We're located in East Tennessee. And so as you look at a map here, we're located in the upper northeast corner of Tennessee in the beautiful Appalachian Mountains. I've been all over the United States. I'm from a different part, and I can say that there's no more beautiful place in the United States than East Tennessee. Students that come here fall in love with it. Johnson City has over 70,000 people, a lot of outdoor experiences. We have all 4 seasons for students to enjoy. And again, you can just see a snapshot of these pictures here to see the beauty of our area. And I just want to throw some pictures up here of campus and some new changes to campus. We have our DP Culp Student Center, which is newly renovated, a new green space, outdoor area, university commons for students to enjoy, a Martin Center for the Arts. We have Broadway coming to ETSU in the spring. Our student library for students. I'm just flying through these pictures. I just want you to begin to receive a mental image of who we are as an institution, and be able to picture yourself on our campus. Our Center for Physical Activity. This is actually downtown Johnson City, but it's just as I launch into talk just for a few minutes about the cost. And so we have scholarships for international students with a 3.0 GPA or higher can earn up to $9,000 per year in international merit scholarship. Same for the graduate level, master's up to $5,000, doctoral up to $9,000 per year. We know that the cost of higher education is an important factor as you're looking to make this choice. All across the United States, you'll see universities all across the spectrum, some costing way more than others. And we believe that here at ETSU that we are an affordable institution offering scholarships to students, also with a high quality education, launching students into successful careers that Justin already talked about. I believe Dr. Husari will touch on as well. And so you can just see a snapshot of cost here on the screen. Again, these are just estimates, a kind of a scenario that I gave here. You see tuition, you see housing and meal plan cost. But for example, if a student receives a $7,500 scholarship and chooses to work on campus, that can lower the cost by over $13,000 a year for students, making ETSU very affordable. As you look at your different options across the country and across the world, I think what you'll see is that we are very competitive in the classroom with our academics, but also as you begin to think about the cost of the investment that you're making in higher education. How to join the family. So I have a snapshot of admission requirements here. I'm not going to talk about this a whole lot. We'll circle back to this, but you can see the minimum requirements, the English proficiency, and then the steps to apply for undergraduate and graduate admission. But what I want you to know is that we're here to help you through this process. Here in our office, we walk the students through this every single day. We help students submit the applications, send their documents, follow up on things, connect with faculty, and we're here to help you throughout the process. And then there's some opportunities to connect with us through email. We have a full virtual tour that students can click on different buildings and see the different parts of our campus. There at etsu.universitytour.com. It's an awesome resource that you can be on the other side of the world and still picture yourself on our campus, looking in the academic buildings, seeing our student center, seeing our physical activity center. It's a great resource that I invite you to go check out. So that's ETSU in about 5 or 10 minutes. I really don't know how long I took, but my hope is that you can see yourself just a little bit here at our institution. And so as I turn it over to Dr. Husari to talk about our computer science program at ETSU, I wanted to help you see it through the lens of who we are as an institution. But I'm going to introduce Dr. Husari from our computer science department to share with you some more information about the program at East Tennessee State University. Dr. Husari.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ghaith Husari. I am the undergrad coordinator in the Department of Computing at ETSU. Thank you very much, Justin and Caleb. I just wanted to reiterate something very important about today's career in computing. Computing jobs are exploding. There are a rapid increase in the need for people in computing, because in computing has become an integral part of everybody's job. So according to Elon Musk, and we don't believe anything that Elon Musk, like everything that Elon Musk says, but one of the things that he says, 50% of the job industry in 10 years will be computing. That means aside from healthcare jobs, it looks like computing is going to basically take over the market. This is the figure that you are looking at, shows the USPLS projections for the STEM field job positions in 2028. As you can see, 76.3% of the job market in the STEM field will be computing. So basically, according to the USPLS, the STEM field is going to be dominated by computing. And this shows everybody, if they join the computing domain now, it's such a fantastic time to become a computing person, to become a computing professional, where somebody could join this industry and basically become one of the most demanded jobs in 2028. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right, this is another show of the same data, just with a numerical number. Look at computing. We are looking at 54,000, over 54,000 job positions in 2028. And if you compare that to engineering as a whole, as you can see there, you can see engineering, which includes all engineering majors. And then you can compare what is the need and where would be a fantastic direction for the future. This is to no one's surprise. Now, if you look at domains like accountancy, if you look at marketing, if you look at law, you will see a lot of these fields has started to become part of computing. For example, cybercrime is taking over because as the more evolved we are, the more digital our things are. That means our taxes, our healthcare information, our money, everything has become digital, which means crime will also become digital. And we saw that, for example, ransomware, which is basically a type of cyber attack that encrypts data and asks for money to give you the key to your data. So basically it hacks a computer, encrypts the data with the key, locks the data with the key, and then asks for money to provide that key. In the past year, it has increased 300%. It means the number of cyber attacks are rapidly increasing. So crime is becoming digital, and therefore law enforcement will also follow suit. That means we will need more people who work in cyber to enforce law. Same for accountancy, same for marketing analytics. With the rise of social media, everything has become more and more digitalized, and people are looking for ways to pay for advertisement over social media in the most efficient manner, because it's not cheap to advertise products or services over the internet. And therefore, we need people who know how to deal with social media data, how to deal with social circles, and how to advertise for their products, which is basically marketing analytics. And that's basically computing. So in a nutshell, what you're looking at is computing is going to take over the other majors. There will be a computing degree minoring in law, a computing degree minoring in accountancy and marketing and so on. So computing is going basically to take over, which means everybody will move towards the digital side. Next slide, please. All right, so let's narrow it down a little bit. Okay, we understand from the numbers, from the US projections for job openings, we are looking at a large number of job positions. What does that mean? How does that translate to becoming a computing student? If you look up the current jobs in the US market, and you can do that by going to one of the job posting websites. One of these websites is Indeed.com. This is just one of the websites. Feel free to explore. If you look for jobs in computing, and I do that almost every day because it's part of how I communicate with the students, you're going to notice these are the top 5 jobs in computing. It's software developer, data analytics or analysis, cybersecurity, business information system analyst, and web developer. So these are the top 5 popular jobs. So if you're thinking about a career in computing, while it's not only limited to these 5 job positions, but these will take over 80% of the computing market. So probably you should think about these directions seriously when it comes to a career in computing. And as the figures showed by Justin, is that the pay for these jobs is really high. It's very hard to keep people in computing in their current jobs because the market always goes up, which means the salaries go up. And therefore, it's hard to keep experienced and good employees without giving them a lot of raises during the years so they can stay in their job. So it's a very attractive field to be in. Next, please. All right, so how does that translate? We understand that computing is a fantastic major. We understand that based on the data and the projections for job openings. We understand that these are the top 5, let's say, job types that are going to be open. How do I choose a program? So this is the next question. What program should I go to? Caleb, can you click one more to see more? Yes, so these are the concentrations in computing that we offer at ETSU. We have a computer science concentration, a cybersecurity, information system, and information technology. The way we provided these concentrations is basically to cater for the market. So these concentrations were created as students would go, and those will translate to the top or most popular jobs out there. As you check out our program, feel free to come to ETSU computing.edu, and you will see these 4 concentrations, and it will show exactly what goes under each concentration. What kind of courses do you expect to do? Now, there is something important I must mention. You have a lot of electives to take in that program, and therefore you can get 2 out of 4, not necessarily 1. So you can go there and become a concentration, let's say in computer science, but you can take cybersecurity courses, and that will become part of your professional set. There is something very important to understand. People in the industry, they care more about skills, not about what is written on a certificate. So in an interview, people will talk to you and ask you about skill sets that they need for their jobs. So less jobs will look at the paperwork and say, oh, this person is information system, not cybersecurity. That is not usually how it goes. Usually they are looking for skill sets, experience, professional certificates, things that prove that a potential employee has the skill set to go for that job. Can we go to the next slide? So here I break down each concentration for you to the type of job that we talked about earlier. So let's take a look at the first one, computer science. What is computer science? Computer science focuses more on programming, theory, software development, and networks. Basically, one of the top jobs in computer science is software development, being a software developer. What does that mean? It means you create programs for big companies. And this is very, of course, a job in high demand because everybody wants to create an app. Every new company, a startup wants to create an app, a computer, let's say program, an application or a web server. So everybody wants a software to be built all the time. And therefore, it's very easy to find a job. If you go to Indeed.com and type software developer, only yesterday, you will see more than 20 job postings, only yesterday. So you will see one day ago, over 20 job positions that have been posted. This shows you how much in demand software development is. So if software development, building either mobile apps or computer apps or web servers, computer science would be a fantastic concentration to think about. A very important part when you are thinking about a school is the concentration ABET accredited. So asking the question ABET, is it accredited? That means, did it satisfy a rigorous set of requirements that is required by the government from the program to receive the accreditation? So in a nutshell, this shows you a quality stamp on the concentration, which means has this concentration been approved by a higher entity that it checks for the requirement? Our computer science concentration is ABET accredited. To check if a concentration in any school is ABET accredited, you can just go to their website, abet.gov, and there you will see all the you can type the name of the school and you will see whether or not they are ABET accredited. We are ABET accredited, and this is a very important quality requirement to have. Another concentration we have is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, of course, based on my best analysis, now it has 30% of the computing industry, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity has become very important. Why? Because it includes so many things. First, you have risk analysis. Risk analysis, in a nutshell, if you ask your CEO, hey, can I have $10,000 to buy cybersecurity equipment? The big question is it worth it? Is it worth it to give you $10,000? So what that means, what are you protecting? What's the value of what you're protecting? So you need, excuse me, you need to put a dollar value on every digital entity that you have in the company. And if you tell somebody I'm protecting $1 million worth of digital data or digital programs, that means $10,000 is a solid investment to protect your 1 million. So in a nutshell, risk management is more interested in putting a dollar value in everything so we can compare what kind of cyber defense do we want. You have ethical hacking or penetration testing. If you build a website or a computer program, you cannot just launch it to the public, because we have a lot of hackers nowadays, and the average age of a hacker has now dropped to 22, which means when you're talking about such a young age, 22, that means there is a large number of people who are joining this unfortunate, let's say, crime activity. So what do you need to do? You need to protect your website. You need to protect your application. So once you develop it, how do you make sure that it's protected? You must try to hack it. And that's what we mean by ethical hacking or penetration testing. You try to hack it over and over by experienced people. Cybersecurity students are one of those people, where they try to hack something and report what they find to fix before we launch it to the public. That way, once we launch it, it's safe and secure. Same thing with cars, by the way, car security. A new car nowadays takes 200 chips, computer chips. Each of these chips must be tested. You don't want to be driving a car where somebody can hack you and start controlling your car. So it's a very, let's say, growing domain that is part of our cybersecurity program. How to build things securely, how to defend against cyber attacks, and how to hack, ethical hacking programs to report any flaws that are found. Can we go next, please? All right, so the third concentration that we have is the information system concentration. This is concerned more of business software development, how to develop software for business, how to be a little bit towards management. And therefore, we require an emphasis either in management or accountancy. So basically, this is the hybrid position of computing, business, management, and accountancy. And in this domain, you get to learn very popular software that are used by a big accountancy agency, management agency, and you get to develop your own software according to certain standards. Because unlike regular or let's say normal software development, when it comes to business, there are a business norm to build those software. And in this concentration, we focus more on business computing and management. Caleb, can you click? All right, so the last concentration we have is the information technology concentration. A big part of the computing world is data management. How do you retrieve data? How do you store data? How to make data readily available? It's very hard in business. It's harder than most people think. It's not easy to store data because you need to store it securely. You cannot just store it and make it available for the public. The database, when you store the data inside it, the website that uses the data like Amazon.com or Facebook does not need to live with the database. It could exist in a different country, and therefore it needs to talk to that data. In this domain, students learn the most popular, let's say, SQL language, which is SQL, structured query language. They also learn PL/SQL, which is Oracle, if you've heard of it. So these two highly popular languages to manage databases are taught heavily in the information technology concentration. And in that concentration, you learn how to retrieve data from the internet, how to store it. What does that mean, store data? How to store it efficiently, and how to retrieve it efficiently, and how to keep the database clean and not dirty, because it's not simple. Sometimes certain machines lose electricity. You have a database, a banking database, where somebody pulled up money or withdrew some money, but the server did not register that information. So a lot of science goes into how to keep our data consistent and not dirty. And in the information technology concentration, we focus on those. These two are also the information system concentration and the information technology concentration. Both of these are also ABET accredited. This is very important, again, because ABET has a rigorous set of requirements to check the quality of the concentration. A concentration that is not yet ABET accredited it means you're just trusting that the concentration is good, but nobody, no third-party entity has checked it and provided with the accreditation. So please keep this in mind as you consider ETSU. This is the website, abit.org is the website. Feel free to visit it and take a look at it. Yes, these three concentrations that we offer are have been ABIT accredited. The cybersecurity one, it's cybersecurity is new altogether, and we are in the process of accrediting that. We are not worried that it will not be accredited. It will be accredited. It just takes some time to finish the paperwork and get the accreditation. We do have financial aid. Check out this scholarship. It's called, one of the scholarships we offer is the STEM Community Outreach Scholarship. This one is available for international students. Feel free to check the requirement. You can see some of the requirements here. I've put the URL link down there, but feel free to just Google ETSU Computing Scholarship and you will see all the scholarship that we offer. A web page will pop up and it will show you what kind of possible scholarships we offer at ETSU. All right, so I want to talk about our department. The Department of Computing have bought the Millennium Center. This is what the Department of Computing looks like. This is the building that we live in, the Millennium Center. This building has been re-innovated the last year. So basically the machines there are very new. We have bought the state-of-the-art technology there, as in computers, projectors, TVs. Let's take a look at the next one. I put some pictures from our labs. This is what our lab looks like. So here's what happened when we designed this lab. This was less than 2 years ago when this was designed. If you take a look here, these projectors were placed in a way where we solved all the problems. So a highly motivated set of faculty members, professors, have sat there and said, okay, what is the problem in auditorium? For example, this is an auditorium. We thought that students who sit in the back would not see the screen or the projector clearly. So we put 4 TVs. You see these 4 large, big screens to keep everyone engaged. Each one of these tables has an electricity plug-in, so students can plug in their laptops. We have a very fast Wi-Fi connection. It's actually faster to download something from the internet than to copy it from any other device. So we have a very fast internet connection there. Our labs, if we can go one step back, this is our labs. As you can see here, you are looking at 5 screens, and this lab holds 40 students, 40. 4 screens to keep everybody, 5 screens to keep everybody engaged. So basically, we can have the left side doing one exercise and the right side doing one exercise, then switching back and forth, because with the state-of-the-art lab, we have that control and technology. If you look closely, you will see a camera. We have 2 cameras, one at the front of the class and one at the back. So students who cannot make it, because we built this as COVID was going on, and COVID is still going on. So if a student feels any kind of symptoms, of course, we offer them full online option to watch over Zoom. The ceiling has microphones in it. So basically when people speak in the classroom, people over Zoom can hear them without any difficulty. Likewise, when people speak on Zoom, people in the class will hear them clearly. What I'm trying to say, our labs are really equipped. When we designed them, we have brainstormed almost every problem and came up with solutions and implemented them. And what you're looking at is basically that solution while we solve the problems that we came up with. The computers are very fast. They are i9 CPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, basically can run any software or data analysis or business information system software. Finally, we have our own parking. This is something that I wanted to mention. Parking is not easy in schools. It's very hard to find parking most of the times. the parking, especially in popular class times, the parking is gone. Because we have our own building, it comes with a big part of a parking. We have 3 floors in this parking, and therefore we're never out of parking. So you will not come to this building and not find a place to park, which is fantastic. That means it's one problem not to worry about when it comes to driving to school. Thank you very much, and I hope you consider our problem for your next step for your bachelor's degree.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Husari. There's been a variety of questions coming in throughout this webinar, and it's been exciting to see all the questions. I have tried to keep up. I know that I've missed some throughout, but I thought that we could spend the remainder 5 or 10 minutes perhaps answering some other questions. Dr. Husari, I don't know if you'd be able to answer. There's a question about what fields do students engage in after graduation? Didn't know if you could speak at all to that.
Sure. Most of our students right now, they go into data, some kind of data. Data is a big domain. How to store data and how to retrieve it, that's SQL and Oracle PL SQL. As a matter of fact, we have 5 job openings that we just announced last week because we send weekly job positions for our students to apply. Also, they go for data analytics and machine learning. This is advanced data analytics, like predict car value in 5 years. That's what car dealerships do all the time. When they sell a car or lease it, they have to predict in 3 years how much money will that car be. And the more inaccurate they are, the more money they lose. So basically all of machine learning and data analytics go into that. So data analysis takes a lot of our students. More students also go to web and software development, website and software development, where companies want something built. Some of our students go to system administration, basically how to keep a system running, how to make a server talk to many machines at once, make sure the cybersecurity programs are up and running, and making systems talk. Also, a part of our students go for business information systems, like they work in companies like AT&T, or some of our students, actually last year, one of our students went to Google, and now he works as a software developer for Google. In short, software development, data analysis, and cybersecurity, it goes back to the concentration, because these concentrations were built based on the domains that would be promising. In terms of internships, we are working hard on internships. While the area, we do have Siemens, we have a company called Eastman, we have Ballad Health here. Feel free to Google those. These are big companies here, and they take a big portion of our students for internships in summer. So there are internship opportunities. However, for international students, when it comes to internship, there are some visa concerns that you can discuss with the ISSO office. To my best knowledge, you can get something called CPT, which is a visa that allows you to work during the summer outside of the school. We have some job opportunities inside the school, but to work outside, there are some visa, but we do have internships, and we are working. We just partnered with a company called Coreforce. It's a cybersecurity analytics company who use cybersecurity and data. And we are trying to start an internship program, a yearly internship program, where that company will take a certain number of our students to intern at their company. And that would be a good training for the students and the value for the company.
Wonderful. Thank you. I see a few other questions about on-campus jobs and housing. To date, every international student that I've worked with that has wanted to work on campus has been able to find that on-campus job, and students can earn up to, or can work up to 20 hours per week as an international student on campus. There's many different options. Some students want to work in food service. Some students work in the library. I have a few international students that work in the international admissions office, helping other prospective students navigate their way to ETSU. And so that's an option for many students who want to help pay for their tuition, to want spending money, whatever their situation is, that is absolutely an option. And also, the cost of living in the Tri-Cities here in Johnson City is one of the most affordable places in the United States. As you look at the cost of living in New York City or Los Angeles and some of the major metropolitan areas, it is so much cheaper to live in our area. Cost of living is certainly increasing in many places, and we've experienced some of that. But compared to other metropolitan areas, it's really hard to beat. In Tri-State. That's I think one of the things that makes us an attractive option for students. I see a question that I can answer as well about admission letters. So we have rolling admissions. That means our admission is always open. We're constantly reviewing applications for admission. And so the application for fall of 2023 is already open. We review applications as they come in. And generally within 1 to 2 weeks, we process that admission and can send the admission letter if you meet our requirements. And then within 1 to 2 weeks after that, you'll receive a scholarship letter that says how much international merit scholarship, what amount you qualify for. That's the automatic scholarship, but we also have additional scholarships. Dr. Husari mentioned the STEM outreach scholarship. We have a creative arts scholarship. We have department scholarships. And so there's a lot of options, and we're here to help you navigate that, to look for your options and find those scholarship dollars that you could qualify for.
Yes, I see a question about the deadline. Like I said, the best source is to go to computing financial aid at ETSU, and you will see there are various scholarships. Some are available for international students and some are not. So it's best to go there. For the one I mentioned, the STEM community scholarship, there is no deadline. I'm not aware of any deadlines for that scholarship. However, it's a first come, first serve basis based on qualification, of course. So when a number of students apply for that scholarship, there is a certain number of spots available every semester. So in short, I would say before the semester of joining, somebody can apply and see if they can get a spot on that scholarship.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
Is it extremely cold? No, it's not extremely cold. Now, let me tell you something. We have a lot of mountains, and mountains protect us against hurricanes, which means we don't lose electricity. This is something to think about, because if it's cold out there, snowing, and there is no electricity, that's not easy. We have the mountains, so we have no problem with that. It's not extremely cold at all. Our winters are not that cold. You will see Tennessee or East Tennessee in particular, it's more of a, let's say, regular weather. A little bit cold in the winter, a little bit hot in the summer. So we don't have 6 months of winter or something like that. As a matter of fact, if you have some time to go to Philadelphia or Illinois, you will see the difference in, because you might not own clothes for that type of weather. We don't have that type of weather. We're more regular weather.
Just to add to that, sorry, Justin.
You know better.
Well, to add to that, I mentioned that I'm from a different part of the United States. I'm from Illinois, and so I grew up with a lot of snow. And one of the things I love about Tennessee are those 4 seasons, and we get just a little bit of snow, just enough to enjoy, and then it goes away. And it's wonderful. My wife could never go back to Illinois because she hates the snow, and we love it here, and can enjoy all 4 seasons, very mild winter and enjoyable summer. It's one of the perks, along with that cost of living, of East Tennessee. Justin, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you said pretty much what I was going to say. So you said it best.
So how can one be eligible for this course? And so I had a couple different questions about the requirements, and I'm going to scroll back through our wonderful presentation here to the requirements here. And so these are the minimum requirements for admission. And so the average student that enrolls in ETSU does have higher scores than this right here, but this is the minimum requirements to qualify for admission. And so you'll see the English proficiency requirements, application fee, the GPA requirements. And so if you're a high school student, we need your official documents from your high school that show your grades, those transcripts. If you're a current university student, we would need those transcripts from your current university so we can evaluate that and convert into a GPA. So do we have a syllabus? So we do have an online course catalog that does list all of the different courses that are in each one of these different concentrations. The curriculum is going to be a little bit different for each of the concentrations. We do have syllabi available for specific courses. If there's any specific courses that you're interested in, Dr. Roach or Dr. Husari, I don't know if you'd want to add anything to that question about the syllabi. Oh, yep. Dr. Roach just shared the link to our online course catalog. And on there, you can actually see the courses for all of our different academic programs at ETSU, including computer science, information systems, cybersecurity. You'll find all of that there.
Yes, and I also shared the link to the College of Business and Technology's website, and that will let you drill down into a number of the programs that we've discussed today. So definitely all of the computer programs that Dr. Husari shared about, but also all of our business programs and our engineering programs and a lot of those other areas. So yes, feel free to take a look at that.
So I see another question about staying in the U.S. to work after graduation. And so that is one of the benefits of studying computer science, is that you can qualify for 3 years of OPT, that optional practical training. So every graduate from a U.S. school is eligible for 1 year of OPT. But students in specific STEM fields, including computer science, can qualify for 3 years. And so you're not required to stay in the same location as your university for those years of OPT. You could travel to a different city. You could stay in the Tri-Cities in Johnson City where we are located. But at that point, you'd be able to look at other cities around the country for that fit to stay and work for up to 3 years, depending on what your long-term plans are. Any other questions? Well, this has been a wonderful time to spend with you all, and I hope that over the last hour that you've learned a bit about the computer science field, that you've learned a little bit about East Tennessee State University and can see yourself on our campus, in our classrooms, sitting in some of those classrooms that you saw here on the screen. And so thank you, Dr. Husari, Dr. Roach, Justin, thank you for sharing this information. Again, I hope this was informative for you all. And please let us know if you have further questions. We're happy to answer them. You see the email here. We've got a great team here to walk you through any questions you might have. And so one thing that we say here on campus a lot, we say go Bucks. And so I'm going to close this webinar by ending by saying good morning, good evening, and go Bucks. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bugs.
Bye-bye.